said that time frame was good.
Writing with colors, which is pretty cool. Having this and stuff.
Yeah, I can see you doing that.
And then I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
But somebody else was going to be sure, so I said, all right.
Very good. Well, good to see you.
Thank you. Nice to see you too.
Miss Kayla. Good. Good. So good.
I'm going to start by welcome everyone today. My name is Frankie Andriotti. I'm glad you're here today. There's an attendance sheet. If everyone could just fill it out and then give it back to me at the end. There's an evaluation form. If everyone could fill that out for me, that would be great. Appreciate your help. Thank you. Doesn't look like there's a lot of room on the page, so if you have to go on the back, that's fine. How's everyone doing today? All right. Glad to see everyone here. Great lunch today. Eat too much. It's great though. Nice spread that they put on. Seems there's a lot of adults in the crowd, so this is specifically geared towards kids, but I think if anyone uses this actual part of life, I think anyone could use this. And it's basically about my life and how I can help kids or people get to motivated, get people inspired to be better, to better themselves. I'm going to do a little bio about myself and then I'll get into the actual topic. Again, my name is Frankie Andriotti. I'm a human resource manager for a company called Entwistle. We're a government manufacturer, manufacturing military products. Been a human resource manager for 12 years. I love it. I love people. And basically, that's why I'm here today, is to really portray my message of, you know, it takes a lot to, in life, you go down different roads and where you want to be. But knowing that if you put hard work in and you keep going and you work for yourself and you do a great job, then good things happen. So I'm going to start off thanking the Assabet for having me here today. I really believe these areas that I'm going to talk about are very essential to youth and very essential to people to better themselves. And a lot of it's about time. You don't have enough time. I'll talk about time. Purpose. What's your purpose? What are you here to do? Everyone needs to have a purpose. Heart. You can be the most smartest person, as I'm going to talk about, but you need to have heart to succeed. Drive. This is something that isn't given to you. You have to earn it. You have to learn it. Okay? And by doing it. Dedication. You talk about 3 Ds later on. Like dedication, discipline, determination. What you really need to have today to succeed. About being your best, giving it 100%. We're going to talk about that today. You know, I mean, everyone here knows people that don't give 100%. And I think in everything you do today, you got to give it your all, 110%. We're going to talk about pain, sacrifice. You know, you have to have pain and sacrifice to succeed, to get to your goals and dreams. Happiness. Areas of importance. We're going to talk about, as my mom used to say, reading and writing. Very important. Very important in anything you do today. And happiness. Happiness comes from your success, from your goals that you strive to accomplish and achieve. And networking. Today everything's about networking in the technical age. Welcome. My idol was Tom Brady. When I was about 8 years old, I told my mom I wanted to be an NFL quarterback. Well, this was the guy who took my spot. This is the guy I wanted to be. Other than the obvious good looks and attention to fitness, these people share really one important trait. and that is drive. The way Tom Brady takes his team and drives them to touchdowns, to winning, to championships. Tom Brady was a 6th-round draft pick. I wasn't a 6th-round draft pick, but I do, and I don't have 3 Super Bowl titles, but I do have a lot going on, and that's one, a faith, practicing Catholic, a wife, Tracy, who's here, 10 years, we've been married in October, a 7-year-old named Tyler, who's my pride and joy, a strong family base. I mean, today I think you need to have a strong family base, have support, a support mechanism. A lot of kids today don't have that. You know, mommy and daddy are working 3, 4 jobs, you know, they don't have anyone to mentor to. So I think today, and what Assabet's doing on this Success Day, I think it's great. I think it's really great for kids to come out and see what people are actually doing in the working world for a living. And one of the things I realized, everyone has great qualities about them. Some people basically get help along the way and get to the success and greatness. And definitely Tom Brady has done that. But I think normal people, the Tom Brady's normal role model people, like myself, younger people such as yourselves, you need to realize that kids today need a lot of guidance, need a lot of direction, need a lot of help. And as I go into my speech, I'll talk a little bit about that and how I think we can get to that. I did terrible in school. I really didn't apply myself. Basically, this is a progress report that I received from my accounting teacher. It says Frank's effort is not sufficient enough or successful enough in this class at the present time in order to pass. I had terrible grades in school. I didn't want to be in school. I talked to a lot of kids. I just didn't want to be there. I didn't think school was important. And this is my sophomore year in high school. I'm talking about junior year in high school. And you can see I got 3 Fs. And this is one of those report cards I look back and say, wow, what an example to show to kids. I have 3 Fs, did terrible. Absolutely horrible. I would never want to do that again. And I think the point to kids is this report card here shows, I mean, I took some strong classes, French, algebra, chemistry, history, normal stuff. But kids today, they need to do better than, you gotta get better than Fs. You have to get A's and B's to excel today. And I think my point is, and then when you turn it around, and you start being successful, you start getting recommendations. I'll mention this because the person is deceased, but one of my mentors, 1986, Krista McAuliffe went up in space and the space shuttle blew up. Well, this guy, he was the next in line. His name was Mr. Charles Spizzato, an English teacher from Framingham High School. Great mentor, gave me one of the best recommendations that I could ever have or ever ask for. And that's because I really started to change myself, to dedicate myself, first to faith, second to schoolwork, and then family. So I've known Frank for a few years. What impressed me about him is his friendliness and his willingness to learn, his tenacity and the perseverance to challenge himself, both physically and mentally. Frank has many friends and people who admire him. I believe Frank will succeed not only because of his dedication, but because he has a strong sense of direction. I use this because these are the type of things that makes a kid, if a kid can get one of these, to get their motor running, to get them excel, get them fired up into really the education and the overall strong work ethic that you need to have today. Well, instead of getting 3 Fs, I got 3 Ds, which is a little bit better. And it talks about dedication, discipline, and determination. Very important to have today to get to any goal, to inspire people. Without all these, you're going to fail. Okay? Without all these 3 in your life of trying to get at and master, you're going to fail at anything you do. Dedication is very, I like to watch speakers, and I like to watch the last year, the Hall of Fame speech. Sterling Sharp, who played for the Broncos and the Ravens. And in his speech, he talked about these three things, the 3 Ds. Dedication, discipline, and determination. He talked about his grandmother. And he talked about how she lived in a house that was wet all the time. She woke up and she was wet. And all she wanted to do is have a house that didn't leak. And Sterling took that part and wanted to make his grandmother get out of those conditions and get to a better life. And we all know he was a great athlete, but his dedication, his discipline, his determination, that's what set him aside and set him as one of the NFL best tight ends. Let's talk about time. Kids don't realize we don't get time back. Once it's gone, it's gone. It's important to know and understand. And today to have time management, be able to manage your time is so important. Especially a kid taking 6 classes, and coming home and being active in sports and playing and just having a life. You have to have time management. And I think we all here agree, no matter what job we're in, you've got to have time management to get to your goals, to get things, your tasks done on time. You need to have time management. Let's talk about purpose. Why are we here on earth? Why are you here on earth? Anyone know the answer? Because I think if you know the answer, you can start your crusade of getting to where you want to go and helping others get there. For me, it's youth, helping the youth. If I can, my message, my life experiences, anything I've been through can help some kid change their life for the better, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Now, I have a 7-year-old, and when you start having a family and you start having children, you're married, you have a lot of things going on. My son is it for me. I try to, everything, instill in him the rights and wrongs that I believe in for my son to make him better. To get on him about reading and writing and studying. He's a smart kid. I try to teach with him. I try to play with him every day. And I think all parents try to do that for their kid. And especially mine did. Heart. You need heart for success. You got to be the best you can be. Also, you need spirit-minded body. You need to be well-rounded today. I think it's very good for kids to be well-rounded. Get out of playing video games and Nintendo games and iPads and really get real. Get outside, get some air, be real, get with friends, play ball. That's healthy stuff to do. I like Nike's slogan, just do it. Because just having the will to do something and to be the best you can be at it, that's hard. It's hard. It's in here, in here. A lot of times people give their opinions of you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that. I tell kids, you know what? Yeah, you listen, but you try to make the right choices for you, with your parents. And give it your all. I mean, I've been up, I've been down, I've opened businesses, I've closed businesses. But what happens is, at a point you keep trying and knocking the door down, finally you get there, you get to success. And it's because of your heart, determination, dedication, discipline. That's how you get to be your best. drives you? It won't come to you. Nope. You just sit there and let it come to you? Nope, it ain't happening. Someone's going to be already, if you're a human resource manager like myself and I want to be a VP, I just need laying down saying, hey, I'm not going to do anything, I'm just going to coast by. I think that's what a lot of kids today do, coast by. You know, they don't apply themselves. You know, they don't have a drive. And it's hard to teach kids drive. How do I teach kids drive when they in their PlayStations, they're in their iPads? You know, it's very difficult. But it's spending time with your kids, spending time pounding the same thing over and over until they finally get it. And I have to pound all the time to Tyler. But you know what? Every time I do it, I feel great about it. Because he's actually applying what I'm teaching him. So, you need to have your own motor in gear. You got to get in gear. You have that drive about you to be better than anybody else. You have to have a drive, a continuous drive. You know, if kids just gave up their cell phones, just gave up their cell phones, they probably have more time for a drive to be better in what they're going to do about their studies. I think that's the most important thing for kids, their studies. You know? And the interactive, you know, I had a paper route when I was about 12, 13. And that's the first time I learned about socialization, okay? Talking with people, meeting with people. I wouldn't just deliver the paper. I would go up the steps, knock on the door. Hello, come on in, Frank. Give them the paper. That's how I delivered the paper because I wanted that social interaction. I wanted to have a dialogue one-on-one. I wanted people to know me and me to know people, what they do. And I think it starts at an early age, the process of the drive. Drive of what do I want to become? What do I want to do? How am I going to go about it? I think it's very important to have it at an early age. As you get to my age, you want to be successful. You know, myself, I'm still trying to be successful. I don't settle. I want more. I want to do more. And that's a mechanism inside me. It's a drive. You know, it's a drive about you. A drive of what I'm going to be. It's me. It's all up to me. So I want to do it right. And I try to, tell my son that there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, there's going to be goods and bad points, good points about you and bad points about you, just to learn from things. An education of learning process. And to get there, there's a lot of pain and sacrifice. How much are you willing to take? How much are you willing to give up to get to your goals and dreams? One for my MBA program at Curry. It was a 21-month program. I have to give thanks to my wife for this because it took 21 months of every weekend studying, getting a 3.82 GPA to better myself, to better my family, to put me in a position for a better job. And no one told me I needed to do that. But inside me, my drive, I wanted to do that. To get to the next level, I have to do that. Everyone's coming out today and getting master's degrees. So if I don't get a master's degree, how do I excel? How do I get up over the curve? How do I get there? And I'm 37 years old. I'm here today to tell you, no matter if you're 37, 47, 57, 67, there's always something to know. There's always something to learn. There's always something that you want to know, or you want to be good at, or you want to have expertise in. I think it's very important to have that drive of keep learning, keep pushing. We had at my work at Entwistle in Hudson, Mass, where I worked, we had an 85-year-old guy who did the internet. His name was Juice Kindle, great guy, passed on. But his drive of wanting to learn the computer, wanting to learn how to communicate with people in this technical age, I found it fascinating. Fascinating. Someone 85 can go on the computer and go on the internet and start talking with people and send a document. I mean, it's really, you know, anyone, if you put your mind to it, you can do anything you want to do in this world. But there's some pain and sacrifice that you have to go through. You have to go through the roadblocks, potholes, detour signs. Yeah, there's things that come up. There's things that people tell you you can't get there. There's haters out there that don't want you to excel. They want you to be better. You've got to rise above it. You've got to go through it. My grandfathers, they all, I have one living grandfather, I have two that passed, and they come up with some great sayings about sacrifice because they went through the war, they married their high school sweethearts, they were forced into a life, okay? And they had to sacrifice for the children, they had to sacrifice for the children's children. And one of the three great things that they've always said to me is, Frankie, if you make $1, save 50 cents. How true is that today? Just that simple thing of if you make $1, save 50 cents. How many people apply that? Not a lot. Frankie, my next grandfather said, Frankie, do you want to be a leader or do you want to be a follower? I said, Gramps, I want to be a leader. Nah, no you don't. You want to be a follower. Well, Gramps, no, I really want to be a leader. What have you done about it? How are you a leader? I think, and my third grandfather would say to me, Frankie, I know whatever you're going to be in this world, you're going to be the best at it because you're going to have the heart and determination to be your best. These are my grandfathers who fought in World War II. My dad, who's a Vietnam vet, who's here today, filming for me. Thanks, Dad. Love you. Another proud American. You know, they served for their country. How powerful. And to make it back alive and have a family and have children. Pretty powerful. I give all the respect to the people serving in Iraq, military. My heart goes out to all of them. And just before we go, just back a second about pain and sacrifice. Kids today, and I don't know what, I walked through the hallway today, I saw a few kids, and obviously they're on their cell phones, and with the iPads coming out and the new technology, me personally, Facebook is good. The only part of Facebook I like is people, I have cousins over in Italy that I can conversate with that I don't know, that I'm trying to meet. People that you can't get in touch with, I think Facebook is great for. A lot of drama, a lot of other stuff, no thank you. LinkedIn, another great business website. Great for developing, teaching with people, connecting with people, learning what other people do. I think that's a great website. But these iPads, iPhones, PlayStation 3s, Xboxes, if I had them when I was a kid, I'd probably do worse. Cable phone and internet, I didn't even have the internet, cable and just a telephone. Just, that was enough to get me 3 Fs. But kids today, I think we have to go back to the original roots of kids don't have fear today. How do you instill fear in the kids? It's tough, you know? There's no magic answer, there's no magic parenting book, there's no magic book of life of how to deal with your kids. But if you're there with them and you guide them through and you're with them and you step by step go with them through the process, I think that makes a whole lot of difference. I think that's very important to you and the child's education. Here we go, areas of importance. Now these 2 skills Reading and writing. At 14 years old, 15 years old, I didn't want to read, I didn't want to write. Why did I need that to do that for? It was my mom, who's here today, who really made a difference and, instilled on me in reading every summer. I have a summer reading list, to read my reading books, to write a journal, to write about your daily life. I think that's so healthy today, to be able to read and write correctly and clearly. I think it's so important. I think kids need to do that. I try to get my kid to, not that I get him to try, he does read. Every night we read a book. Every night we go over math problems. Every night we talk about his day. I make it time for my son to live, to understand what I went through, what I'm trying to give back to him, to better him today. As the old saying goes, practice makes perfect. And the only way is by practicing. I read and write every day in my job and what I do. And my mom is my real inspiration. She's the one who's dedicated her life to teach me the skills and what I need to be able to read and write. Mom, thank you for your dedication and love. I love it. When you think you're young, you think you know it all. And you think you have all the answers. And then life throws curves at you, different pitches. And I've been thrown so many pitches, good, bad, and different. But what I do is I continue to stay above it and understand life is that way. Some have good cards, some have bad cards. But what you try to do is the best that you can do with the cards that you have. I gave my mom and parents a hard time. I was a tough kid. I didn't want to read, I didn't want to write. I got bad grades. Not until I got to college did I really turn it around. And I think, I owe them a sense of gratitude that they didn't give up on me, They keep pushing the education piece, to keep reading, to keep writing. And my mom talks to me every day. I'm still 37 years old, I talk to my mom every day. I make sure I call my mom every day. And she wants to know what's going on in my life every day. And I think as a parent, you learn you want your best for your kids. So thanks, Mom. Happy, success when you get to your goals and dreams. That should be your ultimate goal. You need to feel that, nobody else. You need to feel the success inside you. You need to feel it. You need to feel like what it is to run 2 miles that you never ran before, or do 100 push-ups that you never tried before. You got to reward yourself too when you accomplish your success, your goals. It's healthy to reward yourself. Then get back into the next thing. Next thing I need to accomplish. The next thing I need to do. You should find something that makes you happy to do, a career. I don't care if it's being a chef, laying brick. Anything that you feel that you're giving a sense of gratitude towards, or a sense of you feeling you're in the right place and you feel happy with what you do. I can honestly say I go to work happy. Sometimes I'm not happy because of things, this business that takes place. I'm not happy with that sometimes, but overall, I'm happy in the place I'm in. I'm happy I have a wife, a kid, an extended family. It's so important to have an extended family, and to have a family that supports you. And a lot of kids today, I'm not sure they have that. With mom and dad working, like I said, 2 or 3 jobs that they have, and trying to make ends meet. And you realize life isn't just about money. It's about being happy. Being in your happy place, as I call it. Being content with what you have. Be happy. A lot of us let happiness step to the side. You're not happy within. You gotta be happy with yourself before you can make anyone else happy. Success is when you accomplish your goals and dreams. How true. You need to feel it and no one else. And there's a lot of different successes out there. Leadership, motivation, teamwork, all different examples of being successful. I'll go back one slide about being happy. I was watching a 1993 ESPY Award show. Guy's name was Jim Valvano. He was the coach, basketball coach of North Carolina State. And he said, if you could do these 3 things every day, you're going to feel happiness, laughter, time for thought, thinking, and time for emotion, to cry. If you can do those 3, have those 3 things in your life every day, you're going to be happy. Every day I have those 3 things. I think it's so important for kids to have those 3 things. To have a well-rounded education. And I'm not just talking books and that, I'm talking about well-rounded. To be able to speak correctly, to be able to have some politeness about them. You know, to understand that mom and dad work hard to provide for them. I don't think kids really get that today. One biggest thing about networking is I think it's very important for people to meet other people. I think the relationship, business relationship, meeting other people, learning what they do, you know, the interaction of friendships, business, I think are very healthy. I think today to succeed, to get to where you want to go, you should have those with all different people. I think it's healthy to do that. And I think learning, you're going to learn positive and negative from relationships. What works for you, what doesn't. What you want to be, what you don't want to be. Biggest thing I learned too is don't judge anybody. Questions. Don't be afraid of asking questions today. I think by asking questions, that's how you better develop yourself and develop a better business sense of intellectual enrichment. And I think it's very important to ask questions to people and to gain knowledge from their insight, from their experiences. Everyone has different experiences, and it's great to learn from all the different types of experiences out there.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure, sir. Go ahead. Feel free, anybody.
You said it was
I'm here.
important.
What's that?
I was interested because you said that, you know, obviously you didn't do well in school when you were in high school.
Sure.
And, you know, we're all educators or administrators or teachers. Looking back on that experience, what do you think was the reason why you were motivated to learn or to achieve at that point?
Great question. Couple of things. As you can see, I have 2 dads and a mom here today, so I came from a divorced family. So the notion of it's tough to, you know, when you're a parent and you're in a divorce relationship, it's kind of tough because you're dealing with a lot of different things as a kid. You're kind of confused. You don't know what the outcome is going to be, where you're going to be. And my thing was, my stepdad's a great guy, I love him. He was tough on me, but now I know why. He was tough on me because he wanted me to do well. And I was resisting him. I was resisting the chance of trying to be me. I was kind of lost in this bubble, kind of. And he wanted to put me on a path, a stringent path. And because he did so, it kind of made me rebel. And when I rebelled, I didn't really care about anything. You know, I didn't really care about life. I didn't care about, all I wanted to do was play, have friends, have girlfriends, go to parties. You know, not till I had a child of my own and received those degrees in my hands did I understand what he was trying to tell me. You know? Sorry I put you through that. But I was a difficult kid, and that's probably why, because when you have a mixture of different people and different values and beliefs, it gets complicated for kids. And I think I was complicated. I received it complicated. I didn't know how to really be me. Not till I was out on my own and did my own thing, became successful, did I really understand his notion of trying to put me on the track for success. And I think my parents are proud of me today that I've done everything I've set out to do. But I think if I listened to them earlier, I might be in a different position than I am now. I might be more successful.
Did you feel that there were any teachers at school that you connected with? Or did you feel any motivation? Did teachers reach out to you to try and help you through that time?
I had many teachers reach out to me. I had some great teachers at Framingham South High School, and I went to Framingham High my junior. They combined both schools. I had a lot of different teachers, a lot of different experiences. I think it was just me trying to not deal with it, just push it away. I didn't want to hear them. I didn't want to do the work. And that's what it comes down to, people. It's hard work. Go ahead. Sorry. I'll finish. I'll finish.
What was made you turn then? You were so rebellious and you made it through high school, but you said not
Sure.
well, and then you got into college. What
Sure.
was like the turning?
Well, a great point of that is, and this is what I'll tell all kids, try paying college yourself. Try doing it on your own, because that's what I did. That was the learning point I got from my stepdad and my mom, is they didn't help me with school. I paid for it myself. But not until I got that diploma in my hand to that day, when I invited them to come, did I understand right then and there the message. The message was, try doing it yourself. Trying to have success yourself. Try to be the best you can be by yourself. And boy, I got the message. When you pay $40,000 in expenses, and I came out of college not owning a dime to anybody. My dad helped me out, but I worked. I worked security, I did loss prevention, I did odd jobs, I did anything I could to pay for my tuition, to pay for my education, because I knew no one was going to give it to me. I had to do it myself. And I'm so glad, Mom, no words. Right there, no words. Just till you do it yourself, and you realize, find yourself and find who you are, that's a turning point. That's nothing can stop. No one can tell me no. I stayed on my feet today, not because someone told me so, as I went after it. I go after it to this day. As I go into my next slide, I'll talk about the businesses I've owned. Good people I've met, bad people I've met. S corporations I've established, S corporations I've established. LLCs I've established. Things that I continue to work on. Not just for me, for my family, my kids' future. And to give back. I think that's, a lot of people don't give back today. So if I could tell some kid a message, try doing it yourself. Experience that studying. Do it yourself. Learning. Putting yourself through school without mommy and daddy's help. Because I think that's the problem today. Mommy and daddy just pay for everything. Mom and dad will just pay for that. I think it's very important a kid to have is learn money early, learn how to use it, learn about it, learn how to save. That's the most important thing, I think. It's how to be a saver, how to work hard and save your money, invest your money rightly. I hope that answers your question, sir. I hope try that.
That was very helpful.
So a little bit about, I've created a company called Mazobi. It's defining dreams and creating realities. It's not totally built yet, but it's about 95% done. What it is a social goal-oriented website. And the purpose of this is really to get kids connected with people who are out doing jobs they want to do, a firefighter, a policeman, to get them connected with somebody, to sit down with them and tell them what they do, explain to them their job, explain to them what they do every day. So they have a sense of knowledge of, is this the right career path I want to go down? Is this something I might want to do? Then hopefully have a list of colleges and academics of what this college, if it has loss prevention, if it has criminal justice, corrections. So we try to specifically gear it to the user, to the actual student. And that's what I'm trying to do today. I actually formed the business with 4 other MBA grads and alum of Curry. So together we're building this website, and it's going great. And lately I've been doing motivational speaking just because it makes me feel good to come here to talk to whoever about my experience and what I think kids should be doing, or to how to better themselves and motivate or inspire them. Because I think kids need that today. When I was growing up, I didn't get a lot of people coming in talking. So I think what Assabet does, what this Success Day does, is great, because you hear a lot of different successful people and how they did what they're doing, and how they get connected with kids and try to better and show exactly what they do. I think that's great. I passed around a attendance sheet if everyone could fill that out for me, and then there's an evaluation. But I'm here, I'm open for questions after, now, whenever. I'm here for you guys. So that was a great question about education and how the process starts. I think everyone has a different process. Every kid has a different process of what they're coming from.
You mentioned you work in HR.
Sure.
Do you do a lot of hiring?
I'm in a company that's on a maintain type of company, not a growth and not a layoff type of company. So it's really, I have about 95 employees, and I'm keeping them busy, which is good and bad, meaning that I'm not growing, but I'm not laying people off and getting them into a uncertain economy, which I think still is.
I guess I was just looking for, if you were doing a lot of interviews of young kids, either out of high school or college, and types of things you were seeing as weaknesses in their interviewing skills? Or their preparation?
Sure, I'll just go over, first is to have a resume that I'm an old-fashioned business, so a paper resume. When they come in for an interview, I think proper attire, shirt, tie. I mean, I get a lot with tattoos on their face, earrings, piercings. That's not gonna help you get a job today. Know a little bit about the company. Have a little web knowledge base. Every company's